how would this new production reach markets when the transportation infrastructure is either non-existent or belongs to Pemex, with unavailable contracts for shared use to date? That's the question, is how will they handle this transition?
The energy reform of 2013 and 14 made it very clear how oil gets to the wellhead. But the energy reform left it more or less uncertain about what happens next. How does oil and gas get to markets? And so that's what we're going to open a conversation today. And we're really lucky to have the panel we do.
In relation to the matter here, how production will reach markets, given that most of the existing infrastructure, if not all, currently used infrastructure belongs to Pemex. I want to start by saying that it is also in the interest of Pemex that the new production comes to markets and is available in the Mexican market, not only for our refining system, but also for our gas processing centers and also to satisfy other consumers' needs.
We expect the growth in consumption in oil, but in particular in coal, to really be challenged going forward and to be much slower than what we've seen over the last 20 years. And you can see there on the chart on the left, obviously the largest growth is in the renewable sector. Oil, as you can see, can be sort of increasing depending on what scenario you take, either at a slower pace or even potentially decreasing when you look at a very rapid transition. Gas, we believe, is a very important fuel. We think it's a transition fuel. It's cleaner. It will probably actually take a substantial part of the market share from coal, from our perspective. And in that regard, BP is making very significant strategic bets in terms of participating in gas and gas value chains.
We have a discovery on this well that we drilled in the first quarter during February in Mexico. This is one of the first deep water wells drilled by a private company. In fact, the first one in this basin in the south.
With the energy reform, Mexico was very, very concerned about how to get and attract the investment there and how to get the exploration going. As the exploration is going successfully, now we have to center our attention into solving how do we get the oil out of those fields and put it on the market, to make it more efficiently and make more money for everybody across the value chain.
Well, as per the map I showed, it depends on where you are and how close some of this existing infrastructure might be. So I think Fieldwood's project is very much in the heart of the Pemex area, and it makes total sense to try to directly access that.
To strengthen Pemex and CFE is something we always wished we could do. To increase crude oil production is something that is needed in the country. To fight against fuel theft, that's also something that is needed. So the general goals are shared and are being built. We participated in the building of this GDP, this general development plan. There's a strategy in the plan for this government that is the one that is noted at the bottom in red, is to build a sustainable, low emissions and efficient energy policy in order to ensure accessibility, quality, and safety.
So in Mexico, like I said, we've been down there since really the mid-90s. So we've kind of seen the transition of Mexico from really the public-funded and driven type projects for CFE and Pemex to kind of the transition to trying to get open investment into Mexico. And that's really what drove our decision, like I said, to start operations in 2014, was that a lot of developers, independent power producers, that sort of thing, that we had already been doing work for in the US and Canada, we're looking to start making those serious investments into Mexico.
Mexico is very similar to that of the United States. They set up the regulatory regime. It's evolving and very non-prescriptive. Okay, so it's performance-based and risk-based. With that being said, we do a lot on the containment side in the U.S. I represent a consortium. They have similar groups in Mexico that can do this. OSRL is the international forum that does it, as well as the well control providers.
So does that mean that if somebody were to vote out in the Perdido Basin that it's a transportation line, you would regulate it?
Yeah, the thing is that first of all, the infrastructure has to be new. No? New infrastructure. If there is an old infrastructure, then another criteria should be put into place. But this is something that was put into the contracts. And if the Perdido infrastructure has nobody wants to share or nobody wants to join, to have a joint venture, then it will be how do you call it? Gathering.
Gathering line.
A gathering facility, that's right.